So do you guys remember back when Robert De Niro was speaking outside of the courthouse and there were so many people in MAGA land saying, I wished he'd just shut up and act. I don't want to hear from celebrity when it comes to politics. Remember that? Well, now I have a clip for you of Jon Voight, and they're all sharing it. And they think old Jon Voight's telling it like it is. But I would argue this. When Robert De Niro was speaking outside of the courthouse, he was doing so because he is concerned about the future of American democracy. And he doesn't want to see a dictator rule over us. And he's willing to put his movie career on the line. He's willing to lose some viewers of his movies in order to take a stand on the side of democracy. Jon Voight, on the other hand, is taking a stand on nothing but conspiracy theories, and he sounds like your deranged uncle at family dinner. Take a look at this.
The war of our lifetime now. We the people are in trouble if this nation picks Kamala Harris. We must stop this crime that is happening. It's a war crime that Obama is directing, and Kamala Harris will be the cackling hyena that just listens and repeats. If we do not stop this horror, you, my friends, will have the biggest horror that you will not know how to end. We must all see this truth, become one with this understanding that God will guide us with words of wisdom, that we may understand that Donald Trump will make any sacrifice to save America. We the people are in danger, and we must vote for President Trump because he will save this nation. And the left are all afraid of his strength because he is only for the people. He's not for the power, for the greed, the lies, or wanting to destroy one's hard-earned earnings. We must stop this madness now. Our children are in danger. The left is trying to take away your children and turn them into non-binaries. You all on the left, the ones who are my peers that preach, you all know who you are. What have you all learned in this life? Have you learned the lessons that will bring you to the higher place of eternity? This is now all your lessons. For each one who votes against Trump, this will be among the worst crimes that you will see in your lives.
So yeah, folks, this is real life. That wasn't satire. That wasn't a Saturday Night Live skit. If it was, we could all sit here and have a good gut laugh at how over-the-top ridiculous that it truly is. But he really feels that way, and there are a whole lot of people out there who are sharing that right now, and they're so excited. And they're the same ones who was shouting down Robert De Niro just a few months ago saying he should shut up and act. He should just stick to making movies. What's he plays a tough guy in the movies, but he ain't tough. He's a commie. And there sits Jon Voight, saying some of the most over-the-top lunatic stuff I've ever heard out loud, and they're all for it. It tells you everything you need to know about Jon Voight. It also tells you everything you need to know about the people who are excited about that video. He actually said with a straight face in 2024 that Donald Trump was for all the people, that he was for everybody, that he's not for greed, he's not for power. That's all Donald Trump has ever been about, is greed and power, and he's not for all the people. If you hear him talking his speeches, he is not out there talking for everyone. He's talking about how bad America is. He's running it down every chance he gets. He talks about how immigrants are poisoning the blood, how people like me are the enemy of the people, and we should be rooted out like vermin because we have a difference of opinion. That's what he's doing. He's out there stripping away rights from women, and people are okay with it. He's stripping away rights from gay and trans people, and people are okay with it. He's completely making fun and making a complete mockery out of black people, insulting them by saying that immigrants are taking black jobs, and everybody sits back and turns a blind eye to all of that. He's not for all the people. He's for one kind of person, and the kind of person he's for is whoever will pledge their undying loyalty to him and never rock the boat and never speak out against who he is. That's who Donald Trump's for. And then he sits there and says that we're making kids trans. Does he really think we have that kind of power? Does people really believe we have the power to just turn a kid trans or turn a kid gay? You know, I'm over here saying to my kids, you know what? You guys find yourself. Be who you are. And I'll be here in your corner loving you every step of the way, no matter who you are. You just find yourself. But it's you that's over here with an ancient book pointing to scriptures in Leviticus and trying to convince them that they're straight. So it sounds to me like you're the ones trying to teach people how to be one way or the other. You're pulling from an ancient book and you're trying to use that to scare people into being a certain way. Meanwhile, you sit back and say that it's us that's indoctrinating kids and it's us that's grooming kids. No, we're just letting our kids find themselves. You're the ones that's over here forcing an ancient book down their throat and making them think they're going to burn in hell for all of eternity if they step outside the box. I don't have to do that. I don't have to threaten my kids with hellfire. I just sit back, let them find themselves wherever they land on the spectrum. I just love them anyway. That's what reasonable people do. But that's not what MAGA is capable of doing. And something else MAGA ain't capable of doing is what I'm about to do right here. I'm not going to say that Jon Voight should just shut up and act. I'm not going to say that he should just go back to making movies. I don't believe in that. I believe Jon Voight has every right to say what he just got done saying. I think it's lunacy. I think he's a moron for saying it. And I'm going to speak up and call him out for saying it. But he has every right to say it, and I would never say to him he should just shut up and act, because when you tell an artist to shut up and sing, or an actor to shut up and act, or a sports player to shut up and bounce a ball for you, it is the biggest insult you could ever throw at them. And you may not realize it, but when you stand back and go, man, I spent my hard-earned money, and all I wanted to do was just be entertained, and I wanted to buy a t-shirt and a bumper sticker and go on home. I didn't want them to start talking politics. What you don't realize is they put their entire life into creating their craft. They put their entire life into creating their life's work, and it meant something to them. They sacrificed themselves. They sacrificed time away from their families. They sacrificed everything to create the art that they wanted to make and put out into the world. And then there were things they felt very strongly about and very passionately about, and they wanted to speak out about that. And you just wanted them to entertain you. You were so fragile and weak that you couldn't stand the idea that a singer got up and just said something you didn't agree with. You wished he'd just go back singing Sweet Home Alabama for you. It's an insult to the art, and it shows me that you have no respect for the art or the artistry. When someone says to anyone, shut up and sing, I say to myself, they have no respect for the art that they're saying that about. They just don't. Because I do not agree with a word that comes out of Kid Rock's mouth or Ted Nugent. And I call him out for it. That's the American way. They're free to call me out. I don't care. It's okay. I have more respect for the ones who will call me by name and say they disagree with me than I do the ones that will hide behind fake accounts and sit there and say they agree with me or bash me one way or the other. If you truly believe in what you stand for, and you truly want to be a rebel, and you truly want to stand up and be against the system, don't hide behind some fake account and holler shit at me. You know, you can say it, and I'll have more respect for you. Officer Tatum, he's a black conservative. I disagree with him on 99.9% stuff he says. One time he jerked out one of my videos, pulled me up on the screen, laughed at me, said that I was mentally ill, said that I was a complete and total idiot. I can respect that. I know where he stands. I don't have to wonder where he stands on me. I know how he feels. So you're never going to hear me say that someone else shouldn't speak up. But I am going to come back and say that I should speak up and say why I feel they're wrong. And that rant from Jon Voight was a rant of paranoia. It was a rant of conspiracy theories, and it was meant to keep people living in fear and living under the control of Donald Trump. Robert De Niro, on the other hand, De Niro was standing up for democracy. People like Colin Kaepernick was standing up in the face of police brutality. They were standing up for things that actually mattered. And there are musicians out there who have stood up for other people and for all people and for people that didn't look or sound or love the way they did, but they did it anyway. And if that pissed you off to the point that you didn't buy a shirt, they didn't miss you. You know? I don't ever have to watch a Jon Voight movie again if I don't want to. It's that simple. But as batshit crazy as I think he is, I would never take away his right to say it, and I would never say he should shut up and sing, because it's an insult to the art form when you do that. We should be listening to people express themselves, and I would much rather listen to someone, even if it is batshit lunacy, I would much rather listen to someone who spent a lifetime dedicating their life to their craft and their art. I would rather that person speak up about something than some career politician like Mitch McConnell, who didn't do nothing for the state I grew up in except run it into the damn ground. You know, you can think whatever you want to, but I've seen people in my part of the world turn on Tyler Childers, if you've never heard of him, look it up. Tyler Childers from Southeast Kentucky, one of the best there is, one of the best writers out there. They turned against him because he stood up for people that didn't look and sound and love like him. They called him woke and wouldn't go back to his shows, and they went back in there and kept voting for Mitch McConnell against their own interest. I will never fully understand it. Other than, you know what, there are some snake oil salesmen out there that are damn good at what they do. That's about all I can say. Jon Voight, I think's a lunatic. If you disagree with me, I'd have much more respect for you if you call me by name and pointed me out, rather than sit back in the corner and hide and whisper and murmur amongst yourselves.